Mozambique is a place of stark contrast. Amid adversity, there's a sense of contentment. So a visit to a local church to celebrate the completion of an AIDS education project promised to be a lively affair. Welsh businessman Andrew Williams won't have been in a church quite like this before. There are hardly any men here. Mozambique's lack of resources means 70% of them have to work in South African mines. But this service was all about Thanksgiving. This community has been taught about AIDS for the first time. Precious gifts of maize on these women's heads reflect the gratitude felt towards volunteer educators. With the service finished, they just kept on singing, and not a stiff upper lip in sight. And what's your response to what we've seen this morning?
It's hard not to be emotional, to be honest. It's really quite moving to see how happy they are with absolutely nothing. They've just watched them give gifts to each other and they've got nothing. It's really moving.
Next stop was an agricultural project. The majority of people here are malnourished. Swollen faces and bellies bear testimony to that. But on the plains of Giza, there's a startling contrast. Amid miles of scorched earth, there are patches of lush green land. The vegetables growing here are sweet potato and cassava. Not indigenous to Mozambique, they've been introduced for their ability to grow in harsh environments. A single pipe provides a trickle of water, enough for this crop to survive. These crops are especially designed to resist drought. They need a minuscule amount of water to grow, and they harvest twice as quickly as normal crops. And to provide for next year, all you need do is snap off a branch from this year's crop and plant it in next year's plot. And as you can see, new cassava is already growing. There's no currency here. Payment for those who work these fields is food, enough to feed the worker and their family.
It's like a mild coconut, isn't it? How do you actually cook these then?
You have to peel them first and cut them in small pieces and then cook them. You can make like anything you want from it. Chips and
chips.
Yeah.
They're actually quite nice.
The idea is to grow and multiply seed. The second goal is to teach people, new skills of managing crops. And the third one is to get food for them to their families.
These initiatives are fragile though. Little rain may be required, but this is a place where it can go years without any rain. While these projects are feeding more than 20,000 people, thousands more are dying. £20 is enough to keep a family alive through an emergency such as drought.
It's incredibly practical. That's what's stunning about it. It acts as sort of a mother nature, so everything's centralised, and off that then you can have all these other gardens and vegetation growing. Fantastic idea.
These projects are only scratching the surface of this country's immense problems. 1 in 5 children die before they reach the age of 5. As we left camp for the evening, I found a leftover packet of biscuits in my bag. The clamouring desperation reminded us just how harsh their lives really are. John Paul Davis, Wales Tonight, in Mozambique.